So amongst others, I've got 2 videos in my head I want to get out, or get out there. I haven't done them. Too busy the last few weeks, to be honest. I've struggled. And now I've got man flu, which hasn't helped at all. So I thought we'll have a quick catch-up video. I'll tell you the 2 videos I want to get out next one if I can really get around to it. One's just some thoughts on working dogs in falconry, some of my experiences. Oh, my nose. And the other one I keep getting asked about. I have done a really good article, I think, like, as in good as in comprehensive, not blow my trumpet, a comprehensive article in World of Falconry magazine a while ago, but I want to kind of put that into a YouTube video, how to hood shy birds. It's a simple concept. It's not my idea, but it's an idea that works very, very well and certainly has served me well. Because a lot of people miss that window of hooding their birds when they first train them, but they would like to hood their birds. So that's another video. So we'll just have a quick reflective video based on the last couple. Birdie here, where is she getting on? Well, a recent video we've talked about having to go back to basics. The recall's gone to pot, and we've spent probably 3 weeks going back to basics. The weights of birds massively affect their mind, more than most people even realise. And we've had that with Birdie. And I got a bit stuck for 3 weeks, really, because I decided her weight was low enough and I didn't really want to take her weight any lower to achieve the response that I wanted, when the reality was weight's the weight, and the weight was wrong. 2 days ago, took another ounce off her, £2 3.5 ounces, £2 3.75, and a perfect goshawk. Just like that. Probably wasn't even an ounce off from where she'd been. She went from a bird that was skimming the glove, very slow to recall, to a bird that's not only chasing game over distance, but also a brilliant recall. So 2 days ago, by the end of the afternoon, this bird was coming to find me. I was hiding behind a hedge and just whistling. The day before, at a higher weight, a bird that would skim the glove and reluctant to start coming out of trees. She would be okay once we got her coming out of trees, but very, very slow. So when we say weights of birds, that's only a modern-ish thing. It's the condition of the bird's physical and mental condition. We want a bird as a falconer that's responsive. Oh, I don't really feel it's falconry if your bird doesn't come back when you want it to. You're verging on bird watching with a sort of a tame bird. But you want a bird that's responsive on the recall, but you also want a bird that's going to chase game with commitment. And we discussed in that last video that goshawks very often will commit to chasing game very well indeed at a higher weight where they're really slow to recall to the glove. We're talking parent-reared birds here. Whereas we said something different, like a harrisshawk with a different brain and different wiring, will often follow you on and recall perfectly at a weight that's really too high for it to commit to chasing big game like rabbits. It's really interesting. So I've been out with Jack today. We've done a little bit of recall work and a bit of bull cross lure work with his red tail, Ruby. That bird, he said to me, he's been gradually bringing the weight down. The recall's got better out of tall trees. He's really worked hard and put the time in, and the bird's got better and better. Pulled off the lure machine lure. Wasn't that interested. Bit slow on the recall. He said, Dave, I don't want to. I said, Jack, just take half an ounce more off. Just half an ounce. Her brain will click. He said, oh, Dave, she's actually getting quite aggressive now. She's getting footy when I'm changing the kit. You know, she's such a lovely bird, and she's kind of getting a little bit aggressive. And I know it's because she's keener. Weight's the weight. She's not responding correctly. She's not scared or nervous. Just need to trim down that weight a little bit. Basically, dishing out my own medicine that I wasn't really taking with Birdie here. So, what did he do? He took an ounce off that bird. She is dynamite. A ballistic missile chasing that lure that she was pulling off of. Pack it in. Really good recall. Birdie, really good recall. And this bird now is so ready to go hunting. And here's the thing. That little bit of anti-aggression he developed as the weight came down lower, now he's gone a little bit lower, that aggression's all gone. And a lot of people that fly golden eagles will find that. They'll put them up for the molt, they'll start bringing their weight down towards flying weight, and they get really nasty, horrible things, golden eagles sometimes. And yet as you go through that, you go a little bit lower down to their actual flying weight, very often a lot of that aggression goes away. So is it weight? No. Yes, it is, but it's condition. So weight is something, a recent thing. That's how we scientifically and easily assess our bird's condition. We have flying weight. So we write it down, don't we? We log it, and we kind of know where we are. But before that, people looked at their bird's behaviour. They felt their bird's keel and under wing muscles. They assessed it physically by feel and sort of psychologically by look. I don't know if that's the right terminology. This bird, 2 days ago, was the perfect goshawk. She was utterly switched on. She was in your rack. She was clenching her talons if I squeaked, watching the dog every move, see what she flushed, bobbing her head. Just the best recall ever. Today, her weight's up, I don't know, not even three quarters of an ounce. I thought, you know, she'll be clicked now. She knows what to do. She's got it. Nope. Straight back down the snake. We climbed the ladder, back to being slow on the recall, skimming the glove. She's sharp set on the keel, and I thought I'll just tweak her weight down, her head will click, and we'll be back there. Probably if it was a Harris hawk, that would have been enough and we could bring her weight up. But it just shows her weight is the weight, and that weight has got to be, the weight it's got to be. To have her really switched on and still strong, still chasing long distance. So when you fly Harris hawks, especially if you've trained Harris hawks and nothing else, people sometimes say they make falconry too easy. And in a way, that's really, really true. Even some of the display birds we fly. Flying this bird, I haven't flown a goshawk for a decade. It's really took me back to having a bit more technicalness, it's been a bit more technical, because I've convinced myself I don't want to take her weight down anymore. And she's proved how critical weight control can be in certain individual birds and certain species of birds. Again, it's only weight control because that's how we're measuring the bird's psychology and physical behaviour. You don't need to use weight control. People never did. It just helps us out by weighing the birds. So here we are. Beautiful bird that's been had less than half its day's rations today to bring her back into condition for tomorrow lunchtime when we're going to go out again. But of course, when you are just going by that adage of take a little bit more weight off, take a little bit more weight off, you've really got to be sure, not eating that you're heading in the right direction, because the tighter the weight control, the sharper set your bird, the easier it is to go the wrong side of being in really good rack, really good mental and physical condition, to a bird that's starving and dropping off and losing condition fast. And we never want to go down that route whatsoever. That's why people tell you that flying a small cute bird like a kestrel or sparrowhawk for a beginner is a really bad idea, because when you're talking a difference of half an ounce between a bird that's bang on and a bird that's essentially starting to die, that's way too much trouble and attention to detail for most novices. That's one of the reasons we tell you small birds are not beginners birds. So really important to remember, taking off or dropping the bird's weight is not the answer to everything. It can be the polar opposite and the very wrong thing to do. But the point of this video was, I've been flying goshawks for quite some time, haven't flown one for a while, and it's almost surprised me again just how a small weight adjustment can affect the psychology of a bird of prey, a falconry bird. Quite shocking indeed. I was kind of losing hope and faith in myself, and yet tiny weight reduction, I ended up with a perfect goshawk. And that's where we've got to find. And sometimes if you're into your motorbikes, the old two-stroke motorbikes, they had a really narrow power band. And often it's a bit like that with accipiters in their weight. You've got a real narrow band of misfiring, going slow, or being right in the sweet spot. And that's where falconry weight management comes in. And to a degree, the commonplace of the Harris hawk in modern falconry has taken that need away from most falconers. And it's interesting for me to come back to it and have to be a bit more spot on with my hawk management. In other news, I don't know about yourselves, buzzards in Northamptonshire, red kites as well, but buzzards, that kites aren't such a problem. Buzzards, wow, they are numerous now. Never thought it'd be the case. We're now having problems in the Falconry Centre with wild buzzards. Today, Merlin was blocked out on a tall block, started screaming, and opposite on the other side of the Falconry Centre, just sitting on a low roof, was one of the wild buzzards eyeing her up. So now, pretty much all our birds are going. They're nearly all free lofted, but some of them come out tethered. A lot of the winter now, the small ones, they're just going to stay free lofted and not come out tethered. They're going to come out and fly, go back in their free lofts. If you've got buzzards in late autumn that are prepared to sit around where a human can pretty much touch them, eyeing up our birds that are tethered, you're only a little bit of weight reduction away on that wild buzzard, a little bit of hunger, a bit more keenness away from a bird that's going to pluck up the courage to come and nails one of our birds on the ground in the Falconry Centre. Never thought I'd see the day, but the last 2 decades, it's been amazing how wild raptors have encroached on my falconry like they do, and have done for many decades in the United States. Wild raptors are now becoming a serious problem, or they're on the cusp of being a serious problem for falconers. Many falconers have had issues with wild birds of prey, whether it's golden eagles in Scotland, peregrine falcons or buzzards attacking their falconry birds. Would you believe it? People have lost their birds to it, and if you keep up with the vlog, just a couple of videos ago, a wild buzzard took the goshawk in a tree, crabbed with the goshawk. Whether it thought she was a wild white dove, I have no idea, but she didn't just come over and have a harry at it, she bound to the goshawk. So these things are now really changing how we fly our birds, but certainly how we keep them. If you've got a big open lawn in the countryside, excuse me and my cold, tethering your single falconry bird out in the open isn't now just the worry of others, dogs and cats and foxes in the day. Other raptors are more than capable of killing your bird, and they have done in the UK on their blocks. Crazy stuff. Real waffling video. I feel like poo. I'll catch up soon with some decent videos with a lot more B-roll, and certainly falconry dogs. Let's look at that a little bit, and that hooding a hood-shy bird. And of course, we'll get some more hunting videos out as soon as I get out and get some decent footage. I've got some in the bag, but I want a bit more. Actually, there's another video I want to make that's in the head, not written down. I kind of don't write them down, but I've got a long list in my head of videos I want to make. They're all in there, they'll come out soon. Another one is tail guards on goshawks. Interesting topic. A lot of people really will have strong opinions on whether you should use a tail guard, whether you should only use them on imprints and maybe parent really don't need them, whether they break their tails on kills or whether they break their tails around the MEWS and handling, and so on and so forth. You can see Birdie here. If you revert back to the training the goshawk video, you can see that she had fret marks, especially along just about 1 inch up from the tips. There was a whole line. Those tips were always going to break off. The very tips with fret marks along them, they were always going to break off this season. They'll be fine next season. But if you look at a tail on the whole, it's not broken. There was one incident where a colleague of mine was leaf blowing an aviary. Didn't really realise that Birdie was tethered right next to the aviary. Had an absolute meltdown while I wasn't there. Luckily, she only broke like a couple of inches off one feather, but pretty much a good tail. Never had seen a tail guard, so that's something I want to talk about in another video. But again, I feel like poo. I'm running out of time, but time will become more available soon. I'm also going to do a video on Spanish sky trials near Toledo, which are coming up in a couple of weeks after I'm recording this now. So I'll hopefully take you to Toledo and talk you through how the Spanish sky trials work, what they're about, just let you see some of that beautiful countryside and some of those birds out there, and hopefully some of those falcons stooping. We'll talk all about that on the next video. No, it won't be, but it'll be on a video coming soon. Oh. I just can't do it anymore.